Hello, everybody. I'm a practicing therapist and a doctoral student of psychology. Today, I want to talk about how to tell an avoidant they have attachment issues. This was requested, and so we're going to talk about it in a couple different ways. And the first piece of this video is I want to talk about the prepping beforehand because you can't just tell them after you've been on like 2 dates with them, possibly, but it might not land as well. And so there is some prepping involved. And actually, the first one is quite simple: build rapport with them. You will know the timeline more in detail. I can't do a detailed, I can't share details about anybody's cases specifically. So you will know, hopefully, when you have built enough rapport with them. If you don't know, you can book a call with me, email me, and we can talk about it. I can help you with that. I can help you evaluate that. But overall, if you feel like there is some rapport, that's a good opportunity because the second one is also important. And this helps with rapport building. And so you might do these things in conjunction. Show moments where you take what they're saying well. A lot of you guys are good with this because I share this so much in a lot of my videos, but still, I'm going to share it here as well. Let's say they say, I think you're a bit clingy. Do not go ahead and think to yourself, this is their attachment issue. This is them nitpicking, whatever it is, even if it is. If there's some truth to it, say it like this. I understand and I appreciate that perspective. I think some of that is fair and I'll work on it. For now, you don't need to get into a fight. Maybe they're wrong, maybe they're right. Leave it for now because there are two things that you've established. One is that you are flexible. Two is that maybe there is something you can work on. And if you feel like they're wrong, later you can go back and talk about it, but you're open to it because the reality is we just don't know. We have blind spots. We all do. And it allows them to accept that possibility because they're going to reflect and do that as well as you model it. The next one is what I share with a lot of people who are trying to do this, and we have consultation calls about this very topic. How do I tell my husband, my wife, my boyfriend, my girlfriend, my friend that they have avoidant attachment? This is the one that I always tell you guys. I want you to pick a very specific, I would say like a targeted behavior to give an example of, and keep this in your back pocket. Normally, you're going to need this when you have the conversation because the next portion of this video is how to actually have the conversation. And very likely you're going to need this. And I'd rather you have it in advance. So this is what we do, okay? Let's say the example is this really common example with a lot of the cases I've had with you guys. And if you want to call with me, it's pinned in the comments. Let's say you guys have been together for 2 years, but there's no label. So that is your target. That's what you're going to use as an example if you need to explain it, which most of the time you do. So keep that one. I'm going to show you how it works as we get later in the video, okay? The next one is be prepared that they will take it poorly at first. Most of the cases I've had, it's like 60% of the time they're going to take it not as well as you wanted it to. Not always the case, but 60 is still a big number. It's not the biggest number. And so be prepared. And so all this means is build more rapport and then bring it up another time. And be mindful because they might have been in a bad mood. Again, you can evaluate that with me because it's hard to talk about. It's hard to talk about all the little variables on a video. I'm trying as best as I can for anyone who will need it. Free videos are always wonderful. That's why I always try and make as detailed ones as possible. And so let's talk about how to have that conversation. So you have everything. You have the rapport built. You have taken accountability for yourself. You've prepared that it might be taken poorly. And you have your specific target example in your back pocket, metaphorically. And so now the conversation. First, pick the right moment. Very important. If anything, this is the most important. Why? Because when avoidants are in a bad mood, particularly male avoidants, they react really, really poorly. Sorry, I'm being honest with you. They do. They're not going to take it in, and then they're going to be tainted about that conversation. They get more sensitive about it later, and it's just not good. Both male and females, but male avoidants particularly, what they might even do is they might double down and get a little angry, and it just makes a conversation almost impossible to have. And so what I tend to tell you guys in calls, etc., is at that point, if they're digging their heels in, you have to back away and have that conversation later. And more often than not, I'm just telling you the truth, it's because they picked the wrong moment. Not because the rapport is not strong enough, because usually we spend a lot of time on trying to make sure the rapport is good enough. Sometimes, and I understand these calls, sometimes they have a lot of information, and so people can get confused. And a lot of you guys do really great, by the way, really great. But the one thing that sometimes people miss is picking that right moment. They think so much, do we have enough rapport to have this conversation? They forget the right moment is equally as important because if they're in a bad mood, nothing you said is going to land. And then you're going to have to start all over again later. You can't start all over tomorrow. You have to wait like a couple weeks, sometimes even a couple months. And that's just more of a waste of time, in my opinion. So please pick that right moment. Make sure that it's not when they're saying they're stressed. Make sure that it's not when you both are tired. I would even say this, if they're a female, make sure they're not on their menstrual cycle, because I know when I'm on my menstrual cycle, I can, even now, like regardless of attachment issues, I'm more tired, I'm more exhausted. It hurts. And so it's probably not the best option for you. Even if you, let's say you're the female,